The phone call began at 11:47 p.m., a late-night conversation that seemed ordinary at first. But what Jennifer Gledhill said next would not only horrify the man on the other end of the line, it would also become the evidence that sealed her fate forever. This case is one of betrayal, deception, and cold-blooded murder. It is the story of Matthew Johnson, a decorated Green Beret, father of 3 and respected soldier, and his wife Jennifer, a woman who carefully concealed her darkest intentions until the night she decided to end his life. A picture-perfect life, or so it seemed to outsiders. Jennifer and Matthew had the life many envied. They lived in a $1 million home in the quiet community of Cottonwood Heights, Utah. Neighbors saw a devoted husband, a caring wife, and 3 young children, ages 11, 7, and 5, who seemed to be growing up in the security of a stable family. Matthew was 51 years old, a man of honor and discipline who served his country as part of the Utah National Guard's 19th Special Forces Group. His fellow soldiers described him as reliable, brilliant, and the kind of person you could trust in any situation. Jennifer, 42, carried a very different reputation. She was seen as friendly, perhaps a little reserved, and a dedicated mother. She was often described as a homebody, someone who seemed content to live quietly, supporting her military husband while raising their children. From the outside, they looked like the model American family, but behind closed doors, the Johnson household was far from peaceful. The marriage had been unraveling for months, and the mask of perfection was about to shatter. Cracks in the marriage by mid-2024, divorce had become a serious topic. Jennifer and Matthew's relationship had grown tense, bitter, and volatile. In July, court documents show, Jennifer and Matthew were already on the edge of separation. In August, Jennifer filed for a protective order against her husband, claiming she needed legal protection. But when the case reached Commissioner Russell Minus in the 3rd District Court, her claims began to fall apart. The videos and evidence Jennifer presented didn't portray a terrified woman. They showed her as confrontational and unafraid. Text messages revealed a disturbing pattern. Jennifer frequently berated Matthew, belittling him, taunting him in ways that appeared designed to provoke a reaction. The commissioner dismissed her request, noting the marriage was dysfunctional but not abusive. His final remark would later sound chillingly prophetic, clearly suggestive that an action for divorce should have been filed long before reaching the current state of affairs. What he could not have known was that Jennifer had no interest in divorce. She was planning something far darker, a double life. Unbeknownst to Matthew, Jennifer was living a secret life. She had been having an affair, and it wasn't just a fleeting fling, it was an obsession. She was consumed by her new relationship, so much so that she began to see Matthew not as her husband, but as an obstacle. On September 19, 2024, only days before the murder, Jennifer revealed something unsettling to her lover. She showed him a loaded Glock 19X pistol. He thought little of it at the time. Military families often owned firearms, but prosecutors would later argue that Jennifer was already rehearsing, in her mind, how she would commit the crime. She had even arranged for her 3 children to stay with her, parents on the night of September 20th. The stage was set, the murder of Matthew Johnson that evening began like any other, but by nightfall, the fragile threads holding the Johnson-Gledhill marriage together had snapped. Witnesses later recalled hearing a heated argument. Matthew had discovered Jennifer's affair, and their confrontation erupted with years of resentment. By early morning on September 21st, the house had gone quiet. Matthew was asleep, unaware of the danger beside him. Jennifer retrieved his own 9mm handgun. Without hesitation, she pointed the weapon at her husband's head and pulled the trigger. The shot ended Matthew's life instantly, but Jennifer was not finished. Methodically, she dragged his body to a rooftop storage container, slid it down the stairs, and loaded it into their minivan. She smashed his phone, abandoned his truck blocks away from their home, and drove north into the night, eventually burying his body in a shallow grave at an undisclosed location. When she returned, she went to extraordinary lengths to erase the crime. She scrubbed the master bedroom with bleach, ordered a new mattress, and staged the house as though nothing had happened. But no matter how much she cleaned, the bloodstains and her own mistakes remained. The chilling confession, September 22nd, just one day after the murder, Jennifer confided in her lover. She told him everything: the shooting, the burial, the cleanup. He noticed bruises on her arms, and she casually admitted they came from burying Matthew and scrubbing away the evidence. Her lover was horrified. This woman, who had once been charming and attentive, now described her husband's death with an eerie calm. Terrified, he began secretly recording their conversations. In one recorded phone call, Jennifer said words that sent chills down the spine of everyone who later heard them. "Wow, if you think I could even hurt a fly, he's not a person." He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't Matt. The detachment was staggering. She had dehumanized her husband to justify his death. In the same call, she spoke of herself as the Queen of Hearts, boasting, "Off with their heads." And yet, even after confessing, Jennifer tried to soften her image. She pleaded with her lover not to think of her as a monster, but it was too late. The monster disaster had already revealed itself. The investigation unravels the truth. 6 days later, Jennifer reported Matthew missing, claiming he had gone away for a week and told her not to call. But Matthew's fellow soldiers were already alarmed. He had failed to report for duty, something he had never done in his career. Behind the scenes, Jennifer's lover was working with police. He handed over recordings, screenshots, and messages. Armed with this evidence, investigators obtained a search warrant for the Johnson home. What they found inside confirmed the worst. Bloodstains beneath the bed, a strong odor of bleach, reddish-brown marks on walls and blinds, and a brand-new mattress, ordered on September 24th, just 3 days after the murder. GPS records showed Jennifer's movements matched exactly with the disposal of Matthew's truck and her trip north, where she admitted to burying his body. The evidence was overwhelming. On October 2nd, 2024, Jennifer Gledhill was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, a family web of lies, but Jennifer hadn't acted alone in the aftermath. Investigators soon uncovered the involvement of her parents, Thomas and Rosalie Gledhill. They were charged with obstruction of justice after evidence revealed they had helped with the cleanup and attempted to conceal evidence, including a gun box hidden inside a child's onesie. The so-called perfect family had unraveled into a nightmare of betrayal and crime. Missing body and lingering grief months passed, yet Matthew Johnson's body was never found. Search teams scoured multiple counties across northern Utah. Fellow Green Berets even formed their own volunteer search parties. Each lead ended in heartbreak. The absence of Matthew's body only deepened the pain. His children lost both parents, one to death, the other to prison. His friends remained restless, saying the case haunted them every night. During court hearings, more evidence surfaced, including a container linked to Matthew's blood. But still, no one has brought him home. Justice awaits. Jennifer faces charges not only of murder, but obstruction, tampering with evidence, and desecration of a human body. Prosecutors argued she posed a danger to the community and should not be granted bail. The judge agreed. Jennifer remains in jail, awaiting trial scheduled for December 8, 2025. Complicating matters is a $500,000 life insurance policy with Jennifer listed as the beneficiary. Who receives that money remains uncertain, a grim reminder that greed may have been part of her motive all along. Closing reflection. The tragedy of Matthew Johnson's death is not only the brutal way his life was taken, but the ripple effect of devastation that followed. 3 children lost their father to murder, their mother to prison, and their sense of safety to betrayal. Friends and fellow soldiers lost a man they trusted with their lives. And somewhere in northern Utah, Matthew still lies in an unmarked grave, waiting for truth, justice, and peace. Jennifer Gledhill's actions will forever raise one haunting question. How does a mother of 3, entrusted with love and life, justify destroying it all for the sake of an affair? The wounds left behind may never fully heal. Justice may come, but it cannot bring Matthew home.